In today's video, we're going to learn 12 mistake idioms and expressions in English. The first one is back the wrong horse. Back the wrong horse means to make the wrong decision and support a person or action that is later unsuccessful. For example, as a football manager, he rarely backed the wrong horse. This expression comes from horse racing because people normally bet on a horse, and if you back, which means support, the wrong horse, it means that you have lost money on it because you supported the horse that didn't win. Bark up the wrong tree. Bark up the wrong tree means to do something in a way that will not work. For example, he asked his brother for some money, but he was barking up the wrong tree. Only his grandma would give him some. It basically means that you've gone to the wrong person to solve a problem. It's like if someone tells me that politics needs to change. Well, they're barking up the wrong tree because I can't really do anything about it. To eat one's words means to admit that you were wrong about something that you said. For example, he said that they didn't want to get married, but he had to eat his words when he proposed. It normally happens when you say you will never do something and then you do, so later you need to eat your words. Or when you're talking about someone else and you later discover that the information was incorrect. You would eat your own words. The next one is swallow your pride, which means to do something although it will make you feel embarrassed or ashamed. He swallowed his pride and asked his parents for some money to pay his rent. So he was embarrassed or ashamed to ask his parents for some money to pay the rent, but he swallowed his pride and did it. The next one is a long one. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. So to make an omelette, you need to use some eggs, and it means that it's very difficult to achieve something without making mistakes. Like I said, you need some eggs to make an omelette, and everyone has broken an egg to make an omelette. So it means that you can't not make mistakes if you want to achieve something. So an example is, don't be embarrassed about taking longer to learn to drive. Another example would be about learning English. Don't be embarrassed about making mistakes in English while you're learning the language. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. Trial and error, which means to try to solve a problem by trying different methods and learning from mistakes until you are successful. Let's see if this works. It's trial and error. So it means that you try different ways to do something, learn from the mistakes, and you will get there eventually. Make a botch of, which means not to do something well and mess it up. For example, the unqualified painters made a botch of the walls in my house. It means they made a mess of it and they didn't do it very well. Rookie mistake. A rookie mistake is a beginner's mistake. A rookie is a beginner. For example, don't worry, it's a rookie mistake. It happens to everyone. It's not the end of the world, which means it's not the worst thing that could happen. For For example, "Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure you'll pass the next exam." We normally say this to other people to make them feel better about themselves if they are upset or sad, or sometimes you say it about something that you have done or your situation, like, "Oh, well, it's not the end of the world." And you try to convince yourself that it's not the worst thing that could happen. An honest mistake is a mistake that you made unintentionally. So you didn't want to make that mistake. It wasn't on purpose. She feels really bad about what happened. It was an honest mistake. I think you should forgive her. A blessing in disguise is something bad that happened that eventually has good results. For example, his girlfriend left him, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because he met his current wife a month later. So at the beginning it seems like it's something bad, but later on good comes from it. It has good results. Maybe you were trying to get into a university to study chemistry and you weren't accepted, but you went to another university and studied something else and you fell in love with that degree and it turned out even better than what you had expected. So not getting into the first university was a blessing in disguise. Room for improvement means that there is a possibility to improve. For example, his exam results are better, but there is still room for improvement. It means that he can still improve. You normally use the structure "there is" for this expression and not "I have room for improvement." You say "there is room for improvement." For example, "I'm getting better at maths, but there's still room for improvement." If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment telling me which expressions you have learned in this video. You can always write an example with them and I can correct your answers. Thank you very much and I'll see you in another video.